Top fed for this girl though. Can't they call me fed though? Can't they call me fed before?
Wow, Errol Spence Jr. is not playing. He's already in shape, and he got some time before his fight with Shawn Porter. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the Super Chat channel donations, the Venmo donations, and the Patreon family. We working now. Ego Weight Watchers, a.k.a. Ill, where I give you a look into the fighter lifestyle before after progress pictures, especially when they have that upcoming fight. Boy, do we have an upcoming fight. Saturday, September 28th, you have live on Fox pay-per-view, Errol the True Spence Jr. versus Showtime Shawn Porter in the Unification. Also on that card, David Benavidez getting a crack at his old title, and he's trying to reclaim it by fighting new champion, WBC champion, two-time WBC champion, and super middle champion Anthony Durrell of the famous Durrell brothers. Wow, this is a very good card. You also have John Molina, Jose Cito Lopez on the card. You have my guy Joey Spencer. You know, spent a lot of time with him. This is going to be a real good card. I'm really looking forward to it. I think Fox has been doing a phenomenal job in terms of giving us shoulder programming and building up for the fights. Now, before I get too deep into that, let's talk about it. You've seen the clip at the beginning. Errol Spence is in shape. He has a little bit more than a month out, you know, probably about a month and a week before his fight, you know, before a fight week, about a month, right? And he's already in shape. Listen, I keep telling you guys over and over, leave Errol Spence alone. The man is in the zone. He is all business. I don't know what else there, like, I keep hearing this stuff about, oh, Errol Spence needs to do this, or I'm worried about Spence. Like, you notice you have all these fucking critics who always put their 2 cents in the game, and they are never right. Like, they accuse different people and fighters of making bad decisions. Oh, Wilder should have took the $100 million to sign to DAZN, or, you know, speculating someone's on drugs. And it's never the right, you know, they always lead you astray. You know, people constantly checking, oh, I'm worried about Errol Spence. You know, he's drinking, he parties, his weight, you know, he's not controlling his weight. These motherfuckers didn't say nothing about Ricky Hatton. Ricky Hatton they used to call him Ricky Fatten. He used to get fat. And he's not even, Errol Spence, I've been around dude so many times. He has the frame for his division. He don't look bad at his weight. You know, Ricky Hatton used to look like a roly-poly. You know, he's like short, super short, and then stack on pounds. I told y'all, he's good. And the thing is, you know, people keep comparing everybody to Broner and stuff. Like, they're friends. Broner's his own person. Spence is his own person. They have their own skill set, their own mindset, etc. Errol Spence is good. When have we not seen him train for his fights? So I can't go too far like old media and start heavily criticizing somebody when they're putting on the performances that Errol Spence is putting on. You know, people, oh yeah, Errol Spence, look at his weight. He's not missing weight on the scale. In fact, when he fought Mikey Garcia, I went to the fight. And when he fought Mikey Garcia, he came in a pound under 47. He looked in shape. You know, people are like, oh, people always judging. He fought Ocampo. They said he looked too skinny and he looked sickly the week of the fight. You know, he looked good at the Spence Garcia fight. And they said, you know, he didn't look good. He didn't look like himself. He didn't look as defined, you know. And then his off season, you might see him in between fights. They say he's too big. It's like, this man can't win for losing. He's starting as a young, rich, black athlete. He's starting to inherit some of that Mayweather hatred. You know, people can't point the finger at Floyd Mayweather anymore as much until he pops up and, you know, says something about Pacquiao or something like that. So they have to redirect and misdirect their anger at other black, successful, rich, young talents like Gervonta Davis, like Errol Spence, like Deontay Wilder, like the Charlo brothers, like Terrence Crawford. You know, and we see it time and time again. I told y'all, leave this man alone. If any of y'all forget, rewind this track and picture me rolling. Go rewind this and go look at him in these brief snippets. This is him, a current 2-day training, and he looks in shape. He got more than a month. He does his thing. And see, this is the thing, is I noticed, and I keep, see, people always say, oh, you're making it a race thing. I'm not I'm telling you what I see in this game. It is what it is. I didn't create the game. I didn't tell people to do this and to look for. So I don't care. If you don't like me keeping it real and telling you what I see, don't come to my channel. It's that simple. But I see a different, almost like a different energy and stigma when it comes to these black athletes. They're always held to these crazy standards. Meanwhile, Tyson Fury, he the one failing drug tests. He did cocaine and he gained horrible weight to the point where he looked sloppy. People are like, damn, he's never even going to be able to come back to boxing from this. And then they talk about Errol Spence's weight. Listen, I've seen Errol, and I could tell when his walk around weight is higher than 147. That's most people in this generation. You know, most people in this new generation, they walk around. Canelo, he walks around higher. Golovkin, all these dudes, they walk around and cut to weight. That's just what it is. That's what you got to deal with. But when I see Errol Spence, he don't look sloppy. His face looks fuller, pause, but he don't look like mad, wild, sloppy and shit. Like where his, you know, love handle stuff. He just looked like in shape. Like, I don't know, like a running back or something for a college team. You know, he still looks athletic. You can still tell he works out. He just looks bigger. He just looks bigger than 147. I told y'all, these Texas boys, these down south boys ain't playing. So back off Earl. He takes his career serious. And another thing with the criticism is when Errol was about to fight Mikey Garcia, you seen Mikey Garcia, he was almost out of character all in the video. He was doing a bunch of interviews. He was flexing. He was like doing snacks. So he had like Bane masks on and shit. Nobody cared until I put on the mask. Theatricality. And, you know, he had this Bane mask on, oxygen shit, altitude masks, and doing all this snack stuff and flexing. And you didn't even really hear nothing from Errol Spence. I think Errol Spence is more, he keeps to his circle and he does promotional things because he kind of has to, because he has to build his brand and his legacy, and it comes with the territory. But leave it to him. He don't need a whole, you know, a bunch of hype men and shit like Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua at all times has 50 dudes with him, you know. That's just what I've seen. 50 Shades of Men with Joshua. So he has like a big camp. Errol Spence, he got, you know, maybe some day ones with him, and they're not even with him every single time. So he keeps it simple, and you hear from him when you need to hear from him, like media weeks and shit like that. You get what I'm saying? Like Errol Spence, other than that, he just kind of keep to himself, and he be training. So the whole time when Mikey Garcia was like doing interviews and saying, oh yeah, I feel great, I see something, you know, this snack, yeah, we should have came to snack sooner. I ain't heard Mikey say nothing about snack since, you know. So is he gonna go back snack? They talking about he might do a Eddie Hearn DAZN deal. I ain't heard nothing about snack. So he was like, well, all the time he was like, I see something and flexing and stuff. You didn't see Errol. That's what I told y'all. Some people are just self-motivated and disciplined. I think Errol Spence he's motivated by, I think he's just naturally a competitive person, and that's one thing. But he's also motivated by the naysayers. People said that Mikey Garcia was a better boxer, so that pushed him. I think what Shawn Porter and his dad have done, which is get under Errol Spence's skin. And, you know, he just wants to punish Shawn Porter. It looks like he's taking this very seriously. He knows Shawn Porter's no pushover. Shawn Porter has a good resume. Shawn Porter's a dog. But Shawn Porter and Kenny Porter have rubbed him the wrong way, I believe. because Sean Porter's kind of coming to these press conferences barking and, you know, Roo, what time is it? And he's just sitting there like, oh my gosh, I can't wait. I can't wait till September. So this is going to be a badass fight. I told y'all, hashtag unifications matter. Unis matter. Look at Maurice Hooker versus Jose Ramirez. It was a great fight while it lasted, right? I consider Keith Thurman Pacquiao. It wasn't technically a unification, but it was close enough. It was a consolidation of the WBA belts. Both guys had a version of the WBA, so it's kind of like a unification. And that was a great fight. You know, these unifications are dope fights, you know. And I think Sean Porter versus Errol Spence, they're both going to bring it. It's a totally different style to Sean Porter versus Broner, Sean Porter versus Kell Brook. Errol Spence has different dimensions, and Errol Spence beat Kell Brook. Sean Porter lost to Kell Brook. So that's a kind of a mutual opponent they have in a commonality. You know, and even in the sparring, they said Errol Spence got the best of Adrian Broner and, you know, badly hurt him, and the sparring had to be stopped. And Broner dropped Sean Porter. So triangle theories don't matter. Some of this stuff was years ago, but it's still the same. And then I feel the same way with Errol Spence. He's not in there with Mikey Garcia, who kind of flexed from 135 to 140. He's been in there. He's going in there with Sean Porter, who's been fighting at 47. And as an amateur, he fought as high as like 165, you know, and holds wins over good guys like Alexander Usyk. What else? Demetrius Andrade. Also wins Edwin Rodriguez and stuff like that. So he took Keith Thurman's best punches. He took Kell Brook's best punches. He got up from the Broner knockdown. Sean Porter, he's been in there with the best. Danny Garcia, great fighter. Danny Garcia looked great versus Granados. And Sean Porter was you know, in there with them. That was a close fight, though. I was at that fight, too. So I'm looking forward to this. This is a great clash of styles. I want to see how, if Sean Porter goes back, his last two fights with Ugas and Danny Garcia, I think he started to box, and especially against a Cuban technical fighter, I don't think Sean Porter should have stayed in the quote unquote boxing role and kept the boxing hat on quite as long. You know, he maybe start with that to throw him off and show you could do it, but then switch to how you fought Berto, you know, the more rugged shit. So we have to see. Did Sean Porter kind of get himself into a groove of trying to box now? Does he still, because he hasn't done the Berto style of fight in a while, where it's just like real rough and grueling, kind of like how he fought Paulie Malignaggi. He hasn't in his last couple of fights, at least. So I'm going to see if he can revert back to that type of fight, that gritty, grimy fight against a big, strong Errol Spence who and be ripping to the body and shit like that. So all in all, this is a very good fight, and Errol Spence is taking it very serious. You could tell by his shape. Sean Porter, you don't have to worry about him either. He was in shape. I seen him at several fights. He was in shape before the fight was announced, you know. So both fighters, I think, are well on their way. This should be a very good fight in the Unification Fox pay-per-view. Let me know who's winning the fight. Break it down. I want detailed comments. We got to build this stuff up. Great fights. They deserve great attention from us, the fans. Ego's Army, salute. Shout out to y'all. Let me know your comments on this fight. I'm really excited. Make sure you smash the like button. If you're new, consider subscribing. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button. And you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.